Shalom. I want to start off, of course, give all honor and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rawchaa, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone, who will well teach you in the sound doctrine. Strong shalom to the hopefully elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children. The Lord will have mercy on these last days. Brother HAQADASH coming back with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, is edifying. All right. As you can see by the title, Israelite Heathens. All right, another part of the little mini little series or whatever you want to call it, dealing with the Israelite man, woman, and child, the mindset, the culture, and just breaking the Christianity stronghold that it has on our people. All right, just like it first and foremost, before I actually get this word, let me see if you can hear me. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right, let me mic check. All right, come on. Hear my son in the background, right? All right, so yeah, man. All right, Salaki. All right, so yeah, man. So you got Israelite foreigners, man. All right, who 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 look like the other nations, who walk like the other nations, who act like the other nations. All right, everything that the nations uphold to, uh, Israelite men, women, or child have some way, shape, or form of held or taken part of. All right, now let's get this etymology. Before I get the etymology, I want to get the let's get the definition of the word heathen real quick. I'm trying to be as quick as I can. All right, this is heathen. All right, from the AV1611.com. Okay, it says heathen. Okay, it says from the word heath, right? That is one who lives in the country or woods as pagan from pagans, right? So one who practices customs. Matter of fact, I ain't share the screen on Slacky. All right, Slacky. Let me read that again. Heathen from heath. That is one who lives in the country or woods. A pagan from pagus, a village, right? One who lives outside, who's an outsider. Okay, one who has his own practice. Okay, so it says a pagan, a Gentile, one who worship idols, or one who worship idols, or is unacquainted with the true power. Right. So a heathen, a natural born heathen, are not acquainted with the true power. Okay, whose name is Yahawah and the son name YAHAWASHI. Okay, it says in the scriptures the word seems to comprehend all nations except the Jews or Israelites, as they were all strangers to the true religion and all addition to idolatry. So the point is that it says unacquainted with the true power. Now, if you jump down here, it says here, okay, it says a rude, illiterate, barbarous person. Well, let's look up these three terms right here when it comes to a heathen. Okay, because here you have the same thing here, heathenism. Okay, it says Gentilism, paganism, right? Ignorance of the true power, idolatry, the rites or system or religion of a pagan nation, right? So the rites or system of religion of a pagan nation. So Israel, we were heathenism. Okay, we participated in the ways of the nations, the ways of the world. Okay, all going back to the ancient world, man. Nothing has changed with Israel. Okay, this is why it's important to know the history. It says, let's get these three right here. It says rudeness, barbarism, and ignorance. Let's get rudeness first. This is etymology. Okay, let's get that first. All right. It says, it's lucky. It's lucky. It says rude. Okay. It says coarse, rough. It says um unlearned. That's what we want right there. So it says having heathenistic ways, mean unlearned. Okay, being rudeness. Okay, so we're unlearned. Okay, unlearned in what? The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of our power and of our culture. Okay, it says let's see what else they got here. Red, right? That red is another topic for another day. Okay, going into that word red and who and the red man and what he upholds to. Okay, or the the Rothschild's name being meaning red shield, right? It's a lot that goes into that. But let's see what else they got. Okay, so the point is a good one right here. Unlearned. Okay, let's see what else we got. So we got barbarism. Let's get that real quick. Barbarism. It says uncivilized or rude nature, right? So unlearned, ignorance or want of culture. So Jake try to uphold to the ways of the nation. The Lord told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the ways of the heathen. Okay, because the customs of the people are vain. So therefore, when you uphold to their ways, you force vain hope upon yourselves, man. Barbarism of language. It says foreign speech. You see that? To do as a foreigner does, right here. To do as a foreigner does. And who's the foreigner? Any land that we dwell in, where we're not the power, where we're not the authority, where we're not the rulers and the judges. Uh, Uncivilized condition. Right. We live like beasts. Okay, a heathen is a natural beast. Okay, you have different levels of those beasts, and Edom is the beast of the beast. He's the lowest beast. Okay. All right. Let's get another one. Ignorance. Let's get the etymology of that. It says lack of wisdom or knowledge. You see? So the lack of wisdom or knowledge, man. All right. So the word ignorance goes into the lack of wisdom or knowledge. Want of knowledge. You see? Romans 10:2. They have a zeal. Uh, uh, they have a zeal. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. This is Romans 10:2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the power of YAHWASHI, but not according to knowledge. You see, so they have want of knowledge, but just not the right knowledge. Okay, they don't hold to the truth. It says act of ignoring. You see, act of ignoring. Where ignorant. Okay, right. So that's the point. So having a heathenistic ways, we uphold to the lack of knowledge. Okay, the lack of understanding, the want of knowledge. Okay, and let's go back to that word barbarism one more time. Um, and being uncivilized. So that's who we become when we become like the nations. All right. Um, and this is why it's so dangerous to become like the nations, because the Lord has given us two lots. Okay. The world two lots. You have one for the righteous, one for the wicked. This is additions to Esther. I'm gonna keep bringing this out, man. Additions to Esther 10 and 8. It says, in the nations, because it was a vision, and the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the names of the Jews. It says, in my nation is this Israel, which cried to the Most High and were saved. For the Lord have saved his people. We already know his people is the context, Israel. And the Lord have delivered us from all the evils, and the power YAHWASHI have wrought signs and great wonders which have not been done among the Gentiles. So the precepts that I'm going to bring out, are they a contradiction? No, they're not a contradiction. The Lord is clearly telling you here he has not given the signs or wonders or the promises or anything unto a foreign nation, unto the Gentiles, man. Okay? So therefore have he made two lots. So therefore they can't uphold to the things that Israel uphold to. So therefore, because of that, he has made two lots so it can make sense. One for the people of the Most High and another for the Gentiles. And these two lots came at the hour and the time and day of judgment before the Most High amongst all nations. So the Most High remembered his people and justified his inheritance. Right. So that's why Israel will be glorified, because that's their lot. That's what their lot is. All right. So real quick, 2 Corinthians 11. The reason why Israel don't know this is because we've been subdued. Okay, we've been mind effed. It's 2 Corinthians 11 and 2. For I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy, right? A righteous jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband, right? Yahawashi, Hamashiach, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Yahawashi Hamashiach. You see? Because that chaste virgin is the elect, man. Okay? The one without blemish, the one without spot on their garment, the one without guile in their mouth, man. Okay, made pure. A virgin is represents sign of as a sign that represents purity, man. Okay, it says, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve. Right, when you go into that word beguile, it just means to seduce. So the serpent, when you go into that word serpent in Genesis 3, one of the root words, or going into that word, when you dig deep, it means one who practices divination or a witch. So a witch seduced the mind of Eve and tricked her. Okay, he used subtlety. Through his subtlety, you see, his craftiness. So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is Hamashiach. So now Israel as a whole, their mind is confused. The things that are simple, they make hard. The things that are hard, they make it simple. Okay, the world is turned upside down, man. All right, the world is turned upside down. So what's up, man? Shh. It's like it, man. I'm trying to be quick, real quick. This is Ezekiel 36. It's like it, bear with me. Ezekiel 36. I'm going to go to 19 real quick. It says, and I scattered them among the heathen. So the Lord has scattered us amongst the nations. Okay. And they were dispersed through the countries according to their way, according to their doings. I judged them. So this was a judgment. Okay. That from Yahawah and Yahawashi to scatter us. To scatter us amongst the heathen. So because of that, we picked up their ways. All right. It says when they entered into the heathen, they went. So wherever land we went into under the Babylonians, the Syrians, the Edomites, whoever it is, okay, which is why it's like it, man. And when they entered into the heathen, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. God. So wherever we went, we profaned the name of the Lord because we started to pick up the ways of the nations. All right, we started to pick up the ways of the nations. Okay, whether the sports, the teachings, okay, the speech. What will Israel do? We will always convert our language, our language. Why you doing that, man? What's up? Shh, shh. Satan, man. We will transfer our the Paleo tongue, the way we write it and the way we understand it, and we will go into another language and convert it to that language. Prime example, something called the Assyrian text. Okay, what the modern Hebrew look like today without the vowel points, All right, and then you have just different ways. So wherever we went, we will conform to the ways of the heathen, some way, shape, or form, just to live in society. It says they profane my holy name. By doing that, we separate from our culture, meaning we separate from our power. When they said to them, "These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of His land." You see, so at one point in time, the whole world will continue to acknowledge us as the people of the Lord, even ourselves. But once we discontinue, the nations, they need to acknowledge us as that, because we didn't even know us as such. You see, so it says, "But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel have profaned among the heathen." Right, that's the topic. Whether they went, okay. So wherever we went, we profaned the name of the Lord. It says, "Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus said the Lord power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake." You see, so the Lord is not going to bring us back to remembrance because He just feels so bad for Israel. He's doing it because He stamped His name on the promise. You see, that's how you know Christianity is fucking bugged out, man, because the Lord stamped His name amongst the promise and the covenant, and He promised Abraham that his seed would enjoy the fruits of the land and enjoy the fruits of faith. And you think the Lord is not going to uphold to that promise? Man, He said He don't do it for Israel, but He do it for His holy name's sake, so He won't be made to be a liar. Which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went, and I will sanctify my great name. So that's how the Lord will sanctify His great name, is by bringing glory back to Israel. My great name, which was profaned among the heathen, right? Again, through the customs that are due to the holidays. All right, the practices, the sacrifices. Okay, the different things that we upheld to as a people. It says, "Among the heathen which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, said the power, YAHWASHI, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes." So that's why we are standing in great boldness. That's why they're going to be to say. That's why Wisdom Solomon Father said we kind of did life madness. Okay, we kind of do as a proverb and a reproach how He number amongst the saints of the Most High, meaning the elect. Okay, it says, "For I will take you from among the heathen." So the Lord is going to take us from among the heathen, because it's no longer we allow us to suffer, man. That's why Revelation 21, 3, 4, 5. He said He will wipe away the tears from our eyes, man, and He will make all things new. It says, "And gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land." This has not happened yet. "Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you." So we became what? We became filthy. Okay? We became filthy. We became filthy. We became filthy and more filthy. All right? When we continue to walk away from cleanliness, which is the true power, which is the truth. Okay, so Israel became Hellenized. Okay, there was a period in time where we completely lost our way due to being Hellenized. Since we Ezekiel, let's get Ezekiel 39 real quick. All right, and 23 real quick. Ezekiel 39, 23. "And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore I hid my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies, so fell they all by the sword. It says, according to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore said the power YAHWASHI, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob. Remember, I just did a lesson on who is salvation for. Salvation means to preserve, to save. Okay, so the ones that need saving are the ones that are held in captivity. Okay, and those are the Israelites. It said, now I will bring again the captivity of Jacob and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. Right. And after they have borne their shame, so after the fullness of the affliction of Zion is fulfilled, and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwell safely in their land, and none made them afraid, when I have brought them again from the people. What people? The heathen, and gathered them out of their enemy's land. Right, so we're in our enemy's land. The Lord is going to have to gather us from our enemy's land, man. Our people are still upholding to the ways of the heathen, man. We still have to eat the same foods, and we have to defile breads, and we have to pay for water, and we have to still do these different things that the nations have pushed on the world, preferably Esau, Edom. It says, 25, therefore, no, where am I at? 27, and gather them out of their enemies' land, and sanctify in them in the sight of many nations. It says, then shall they know that I am Yahweh Elohim, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them into their own land, and have left none of them any more. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, said Yahweh. So the Lord is not going to have us in the state that we are in currently no more, which is this heathenistic mindset, the heathenism ways and fashions that we uphold to, the ignorance, the want of knowledge. Okay, damn, what was that one? Last one, Slacky. Uncivilization, the being uncivilized, right? Meaning having no order. Okay, the Lord is going to take us from that state and put us back in order, man. All right. So it says, let's go back. Let's get Ephesians 2 real quick, and then I'm gonna show you that the Lord He called us heathens multiple times in the scriptures. Let me get one more. Ephesians 2 and 11. It says, wherefore remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh. Right? A Gentile is just nothing but a heathen. Okay? Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcised by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh by hands. Right? So at a point in time, we moved away from our customs. The scriptures tell you, I believe it's in Exodus, that we are stamped by the circumcision. The law that we uphold to and the ways that we uphold to are made known or stamped by the circumcision. Okay, but then a period of time came where you will have Israelites not circumcising their children physically, to the point that they were all the way upholding to the customs of the Greeks and the customs of the Romans and so forth. And then eventually even the ones that were circumcised, they became uncircumcised in the mind. You see, and you can read that right here real quick. Let's just grab a quick one. It's like it. This is First Maccabees 1. First Maccabees 1 and 15. No, 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Right. So our people will uphold to the ways of the heathen, because our people just was rebellious and made themselves uncircumcised. Right. This is not talking about you can't put your foreskin back on and sew it back. This is talking about in the mind, man. And forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen. So when we forsake the holy covenant, therefore we detach ourselves from the very thing that we are attached to, and then we join ourselves to something else, and we were sold to do mischief. You see, so that's why our our understanding and the ways and the customs that we uphold to, we resemble the heathen. We became our people, and us too before this truth. We were living like, you know, the nations, man. You couldn't tell us apart, man. Okay, you couldn't tell us apart. Since we here, let's go to Second Maccabees real quick, chapter 4, and now watch this. This is Second Maccabees 4 and 9, right? It says, beside this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise. This is talking about what's his name? Slacking. What's his name? It started with J. Jason, I believe. Yeah, it's talking about Jason. All right. It says, slacking. It says, besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place of exercise and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, right? You see, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians. You see, so just like when our people uphold to the politics of America and the politics of the nations, they call themselves after the nations. They say they are Americans. They are African Americans. Okay, they say that they are wherever they reside, you know, because they uphold to the politics of that nation. Okay, which when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion. See, and the king, I believe, again, like it was Jason, says, it says, yeah, I believe he was the king. The devil solutions were into the court. Took the king of Jason and brother on their labor under, promising unto the king by intercession 300. Let me see. No, the king right now is Antiochus. Says when the king had granted and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion, and the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, right? Yeah, man, it's like it. Man, Satan, man, my son's choking and shit. It's like it. It says, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law. So he brought up new customs, right, that were foreign to the Israelites, right? So he said, for he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection. It says, and made them wear a hat. Okay, and that hat is like, for example, when you go into let me see, when you go into okay, let me see, let me type this in. You see, and they give them a hat. It's the same custom. So they would give them a hat according to the teams that they were drafted to, that they are drafted to, right? It's the same customs. All right, it's the same customs that goes back to the Greek Empire. It says, For he built gladly a place of exercise, right? The exercise will be the gymnasiums, the arenas, the NBA arenas, the NFL arenas, etc. It says, and brought the chief young men under his subjection and made them wear a hat, right? Subject to the owner. Now such was the height of Greek fashion. So now the Greeks' customs were pushed to the max because Jake, remember, we the salt of the earth. Remember, we the salt of the earth. And we the salt of the earth. So when they have us under subjection and they make us dance, laugh, and sing and do all these different things to entertain them in the world, it pushes their kingdom forward and it pushes them to the height because we give it flavor and we bring them revenue. It says increase of heathenish manners. You see? So we that word heathenish, let's see if we can get that. Heathenish. Anytime you have ish on the end of anything, it means pertaining to. Okay, it says of the nature or character of, right, pertaining to. Okay, so Jewish are they're pertaining to be Jews. Okay, it says yeah, so that's really all we need. So heathenish ways, meaning like we were pertaining to be a heathen, we pertaining to be a Greek. Manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason. You see, it says that ungodly wretch and no high priest. Okay, it says that the priest had no courage to serve anymore at the altar. You see, so that the spirit was done, man. The spirit wasn't there no more, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices. So therefore they became even more slothful, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. After the game of discus called them forth, right? They started to participate in the sports that was produced by the Greeks. Track, track and field, all these different things come from this is a product of this time. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. So yeah, so not going according to the custom in the ancient ways, but they instead they liked the glory of the Grecians. They saw that they were doing what they want to do, man. They didn't have no morals. They didn't have laws and regulations and statutes and commandments to hold by. They do as thou wilt. They lived freely like a beast. By reason whereof some calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose customs they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. You see, our people still to this day desire to be like the heathen in all things. It says, for it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Most High, but the time following shall declare these things. You see, so our people always upheld to this type of manner. That's why the Lord said this in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. We're going to start at like 33. 33. I, Ezra, received a charge of the Lord upon the Mount Arab that I should go unto Israel. So the point is that the whole mission is for Israel, mainly the elect. Okay, but we preach, when we out there teaching, we teach as if we're speaking to all, because the elect look like the other nations. They're scattered abroad. They're scattered to the four corners of the earth, and they literally look like all nations. Okay, so therefore we speak unto all nations in the terms of she's in there, one there. We speak to all nations. Okay, hoping to seal the elect. Okay, it says I should go unto Israel. Remember, because he said there's neither Jew nor Greek, right? He said that because we were during the Greek Empire was where we really lost our way. We really lost our customs and nationality, right? We discontinued from our heritage, literally. It says, but when I came unto them, they set me at naught and despised the commandment of Yahweh. You see? So our people despise the commandment of the Lord. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen. It's not talking about the nations. We already read earlier in addition to Esther 10 and 8. on down that the Most High have never done these things, had never given glory or anything pertaining to righteousness unto the nations, unto the heathen. So it says, "Oh, you heathen." So it's not talking about the nations; it's talking about Israel, because we already hear we should go into Israel. It says, "And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand that shall come in the end of the world." You see, so this is why this is why it's important to understand words and understand history and context. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Flee the shadow, meaning flee the protection of this world. Because when you uphold to the ways of the nations, you are upholding and you're pertaining to their protection. Okay, their ways. Okay, because the laws, statutes, and commandments provides protection. It's just what laws do you follow? Is what order do you follow? Okay, do you follow the well, it's not really order, but do you follow the order on a low level when it comes to a man, or do you follow the order of YAHAWASHI, the order of the heavens? Okay, flee the shadow of this world, receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. And since we're in Second Ezra, let's go to chapter 8 real quick. Chapter 8 and 24. It says, "Oh, hear the prayer of thy servant, give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. Oh, look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen," right? Because an invention is something premeditated on. As a matter of fact, let's get to etymology of invention. Finding or discovering of something. To come upon, find out, invent, discover, devise, acquire, get, earn. Let me see. Uh, it says devised method of organization. Okay, that's what it says. Earliest sense of the word in Middle English was devised method of organization. Right. So devised. When you go into that word devised, device, intent. You see, right? Desire, express intent. So that divide, it was devised. It was heavily devised. Okay, so meaning, oh, look, arranged, planned. You see, so we see that we see that inventions was an intent. Okay, it was arranged. It was planned. All right, regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen. Okay, the plots, the popular persuasions, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in affliction, the prophecies. Think not upon those that have walked faintly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. Let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts. Israel have lived like beasts, but look upon them that have clearly taught thy law. Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts. Because at a point in time, the Lord told you, what is it, in Ezekiel, your wickedness, um, your wickedness have exceeded, it's like, let me see if I can find this real quick. Your wickedness have exceeded, Jeremiah, it's like it. Jeremiah 5:28. They are waxing fat, they shine, yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. So we overpass the deeds of the wicked. You see, they judge not the cause. Right, they don't uphold to the ways of life, the cause of the fathers, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. So it says that they overpass the deeds of the wicked. So read it again. Uh, it says, let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts. Let me jump down. Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts. So at a point in time, our ways exceeded the deeds of the wicked, but love them that always put their trust in thy righteousness and thy glory. You see, so for we and our fathers do language of such disease, but because of us sinners, thou shalt be called merciful. You see, so that's why the Lord said He counted us all in belief and unbelief, so that He may have mercy upon all. Talking about the Israelites, the whole house of Israel. You see, um, um, let's go to real quick. Let me get this precept real quick. 2 Kings 17. Second Kings 17 and 8. And walked in the statutes of the heathen. You see? It says for verse 7, for it so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against Yahweh their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had fear of the gods. So that's the point. That's how we became Hellenized. That's how we became like the other nations, because we served their gods, man. Okay, and the gods come with a nation. The gods come with law, statutes, and commandments on the left hand side, and walked in the statutes, see, of the heathen, whom YAHWASHI cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly. You see, those things that the Lord said, what you do in secret, just mainly paraphrase, it's gonna come to light. He should make it what you do in secret, going into what's that, Matthew 6. When you pray in secret, He should reward you openly. So if you do what you're doing secretly, it's going to be exposed openly as well. It says that the children of Israel did secretly. It's like they did secret those things that were not right against the Lord their power, and they built them high places in all the cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city, and they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree, and there they burnt incense in all the high places. You see, it says, as did the heathen. What you see, as did the heathen, whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. For they served idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, ye shall not do this thing. So Yahweh had told us over and over and over again. See? But we didn't listen. Real quick, let me get Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah 30 and 12. It says, for thus said the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous, right? Or sickly, or become a cancer. Okay. So the Lord Yahweh just told us that we do language of such disease in 2 Ezra 8. There is none to plead thy cause that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines, and all thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. And who's the enemy? The nations, the heathen, the Gentiles. So the Lord gave us He wounded us. He wounded us and matched us with the heathen. He counted us as the dogs. Okay, for a period of time, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of iniquities, because thy sins were increased, man. So the Lord has scattered us everywhere. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. October 13. The Lord has scattered us, man. We probably could close with this. I could probably get two more, but we'll close with this concept of us being scattered. It says October 13 and 1. Then Toby wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, blessed be the power that liveth forever. Yahweh and blessed be his kingdom. For he doeth scourge and have mercy. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. Confess him, right? We testify our Savior openly. Before who? The natural born Gentiles. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. You see, so what's the title again? Israelite Heathens, man. There declare his greatness and extol him before all the living, for he is our power, right? And he is the power of our Father forever. And he will scourge us for our iniquities and will have mercy again and will gather us out of all nations. You see? See, so hold on, let's go back. Let's read 4 again. There declare his greatness. So we're declaring his greatness right now and extol him before all the living, for he is our power. He's our master. He's our king, and he is our power, our Father forever. So he's not the nation's father. He don't belong to the nations. Oh, he belongs we belong to him. The nations don't belong to him. We belong to him, and he will scourge us for our iniquities. Right? Who is the son that the father chastened him not? Okay, and he will have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations among whom he hath scattered us. If you turn to him with your whole heart and with your whole mind and deal uprightly before him, then will he turn unto you and will not hide his face from you. Therefore, see what he will do with you and confess him with your whole mouth. Right, meaning sincerity and truth, 100% truth. And praise the Lord of might and extol the everlasting King. In the land of my captivity do I praise him and declare his might and majesty to a sinful nation. O ye sinners, right, to give repentance to the house of Israel. And Yahawashi died for our sins and do injustice before him who can tell if he will accept you and have mercy on you. Right. Real quick, let's go to Isaiah 11 real quick. It's Isaiah 11 and 11. They're going to the kingdom. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Right, this is the second so-called Exodus. This is the second coming. This is the redemption, the salvation. Okay, that we're praying for and we hoping for, to recover the remnant. The remnant is left, the left behind. The ones that are waiting for that great deliverance are the elect men and the governing body, and the rest of the large multitude of men and children that the Lord will have mercy on. It says, which shall be left. Where they left from? From Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Jake read this and think they literally talking about Egyptians. See, we are all one people. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and he shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. No, this is the outcasts of Israel. Did you read the next verse? We're scattered amongst the four corners of earth. We are the speckled bird. So with that being said, we have to understand that these customs that we upheld to pushed us away from our power. So therefore you have the term Israelite heathens. Okay, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see, one more, Isaiah 44. It's Isaiah 44. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. See, the Lord have chosen Israel, man. Thus said the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Yaquab, my servant, and thou Yashran. Damn, I forgot to say that. Whom I have chosen, Israel. It says, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thy offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. This is talking about Israel, not the nations. One shall say, I am the Lord. So, right, we're boasting that the Lord is dealing with us. We're boasting that, we're saying Wisdom of Solomon 2, we're boasting that we have the knowledge of YAHWASHI. It says, we're boasting by the way we teach and doing the work. That's how we're boasting. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Yaquab, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Yasha Allah. That's the point. being joint heirs with Yahweh Basham Yahushua, coming back into the fold, that grafted in, that reconciliation. Thus said Yahweh Elohim, the King of Yasha'Allah, and his Redeemer, Yahweh Basham Yahushua, Yahweh Tazabawaf, meaning Yahweh of armies. I am the first and the last, and besides me there is no power. And who, as I shall call and shall declare it, and set in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from the time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. So that's heavy, man, because you acting like the Lord didn't prove himself. He proved himself because he had witnesses. John was a witness to Yahweh Shah. Okay, he said, I bear a record. I John, am a witness unto that light. John 1. And there a power besides me? Yet, there is no power. I know not any. They that make a graven image are all them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit, and they are their own witnesses, they still see it. And they are their own witnesses, you see? And they see not, nor know that they may be ashamed. You can read the rest of this on your own, man. So it says, it says, in the residue thereof he maketh a power, even his graven image, he falleth down unto it, and worship it, and prayeth unto it, and said, Deliver me, for thou art my power. They have not known nor understood, for he have shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts, and that they cannot understand. So that's the point. The Lord have shut up the minds of the people, and 2/3 of our people, man. Okay. Um. It's like I was reading this. Um. The Lord has sanctified His people from the very beginning, man. And close out verse 21. Remember this, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee, and it says, Thou art my servant, O Yasha'Allah. Thou shalt not be forgotten of me. So the Lord would never do away with His people. He's not going to bring new people in. No, He's going to deal with His people, and He's going to correct us accordingly. I have blotted out as the cloud thy transgressions. So he remember our transgressions no more. And as a cloud thy sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed thee. You see? So I pray this is edifying to the elect, man, and the body, the lambs and the sheep of YAHAWASHI. I didn't expect this to be that long, but it is what it is, man. So Israelite heathens, man, you have a thing called Israelite heathens because of the customs that we upheld to, the ignorance and the uncivilization that we upheld to. We were civilized people. When we read Deuteronomy 4, they said when we go amongst the nations, they say this people is a wise and understanding people. What people is unlike unto the power of the heavens, or what people is like unto this that have the power near unto themselves? They don't say that about us right now. They look at us and hiss at us, man. So you got to remember, why is that? Because we remind them of themselves. We remind the world of the nations. We remind the world of the heathens. Okay, so with that, Brother Kadash, again, I want to give honor and glory to Yahweh Basham, Yahushua Basham, HAQADASH. Again, that were honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone, who will teach you in sound doctrine, who endure, who is continuing to adore. Through faith, they have obtained a good report, and through spirit and power, Yahweh Yahushua, or the true leaders of Israel today, through faith and in Yahweh Yahushua, and what His word tells us, what will be laid out in these last days. So with that, Brother Kadash, Shalom.